Previously on the Jay and Dan podcast.
So welcome to the podcast. It's going to be an interesting one because for the first time ever, we are checking phone calls.
Hello.
Hi, Claudia.
Oh, wow. Worked.
It worked.
It worked. Hey, Derek, what's going on, buddy? Where are you calling from?
Derek, actually.
Okay.
Eric. Okay, Christoph. You really messed that one up. Where are you from?
The home of the legendary Gringo.
Whoa!
Tune
Down. Amazing. Summer in Saskatoon. Everybody's going to get a gringo.
St. Catharines, Ontario.
Oh,
St. Catharines.
St. Catharines, Ontario.
What's the slogan for St. Catharines?
I don't know.
Who do we got? Stuff. All right, here we got, I believe, Ben.
Okay. Oh, no.
Hi, Dan. No, you said anybody could call. I saw the tweet and I called.
Ah, you got me, huh?
They didn't have lasers.
She's my wiggly wife.
You're listening to the Jay and Dan podcast, presented by our good friends at Coors Light.
Crushing some silver bullets. Perfect.
Dots.
It's July 2nd, 2018. Wow.
Summer is over.
Hey, before we get into everything, can we discuss something?
Isn't that what the whole point of this is? Like I was watching that Gary Shandling doc, like you watched over the weekend, and Jerry and Gary were talking about how people don't just say things; they're just like, "Let me tell you something."
Yeah.
I've got something to say.
I hate the... Can I talk to you for a sec?
I got something I want to get off my chest.
Let me ask you a question. Just ask it.
Tell me what you think about this idea.
Okay, so there's a commercial been running on TSN. Every time I see it.
Is it the Wedges commercial?
Nope.
Oh.
That's a great commercial.
That baby's still running. Natasha should have been paid 16 times what she got.
It is a Toyota commercial in which a couple, there's no dialogue. They leave the house. They're not happy with one another. They're in the car. They're like giving each other like glances, like, oh,
I thought you were going to say hand jobs. Go on.
I don't like these. I don't know. So you can tell there's a rift between them.
Mm.
And then they almost get into an accident, but they don't because their car protected them because it has the stop thing. And then they hold hands and then drive on. Am I missing something?
Oh, it's just, you get caught up in your life. Maybe you have an argument over something trivial, and then you realize that you're fortunate because Toyota's stop-top technology has prevented you from dying. And then you look at your partner and say, you know what? I don't hate this quite as much as I did when we left the house.
But I have so many questions. What are they fighting about? Where are they going? Are they going to a funeral?
He probably wanted a hand job. She wouldn't give him one. And then they had to go before the funeral. He was like, well, we're going to this funeral, and we're going to be there for like 3 hours. Can I just get just a hand job? Just a quick handy, please.
And the one problem with the
one handy
with the near accident, if you watch when they proceed to continue or they continue driving, the truck that was in front of them that slammed on their brakes, it was an isolated road. That guy was bombed. Like he was just slamming on his brakes in the middle of a road with nothing around.
Well, maybe he was looking down at his phone. How about that? He was looking down at his phone, and then all of a sudden he was like, whoa, whoops. Here comes that hand job couple.
So anyway, if anyone knows what's going on there, is it a continuation from another commercial?
I don't know. It seems pretty self-explanatory. Like, I don't understand your confusion about that at all.
But they don't
Christoph
explain.
is dying.
But they don't explain why they're upset.
I know the commercial he's talking about, and I hate that commercial because it's pretty stupid in the end. Because I think almost getting to an accident, you cause more of a fight than it
Right.
did.
Right.
But
You'd start
if that was my
arguing
wife,
more.
she would have killed me.
Christoph? What's your theory? What are they angry about?
I think the hand job theory is a pretty good one.
I think that's a solid theory. Whenever you bring out the hand job defense, it could be anything. The whole point is that they're arguing, and then they realize after narrowly avoiding death that maybe arguments are...
Maybe that was his plan. Maybe he's like, it.
Hey, Jim, can you take your semi out on the road? Just where I'm going to take the car down an abandoned road. I'm going to need you to hammer on the brakes right before you get to us. I want to scare the living out of my wife.
I'm surprised he didn't do the stop short.
Stopping
from
short.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, the Frank Costanza move.
Yeah.
Boy, I got to say, Take Two, starring Rachel Bilson, still going strong on CTV. Thursdays at 10.
It's a steam show in here. Holy crap.
It's perfect. Beautiful. It has been a steam show in the city of Toronto, though, this weekend.
Yeah,
Ooh, mama.
so much so they had to close the dome because if it was open during day games this past... Oh, no, it's there. People would have died in there.
My cousins from Saskatchewan came to visit, and they went to their first Jays game on Canada Day. What a perfect day to go. They were so excited about getting to the ballpark early so they could be one of 20,000 people to get their free hat. And I said, well, talking to Dan, kind of think you guys better get there like 5 hours ahead of time because it seems like they're having some issues getting people through the dome these days.
And?
But I think they got their hats. I think they got them. They loved it. They had a great time, even though I think the Jays lost that day 11-1 or something like that. The Blue Jays, they're
like the 150th running of the Queen's Plate went on Saturday. That was the first time I've ever attended it.
Big deal among the CTV Bell Media types. A lot of CTV TSN types at this event, and you were there, and you were looking sharp in your suit. Wait, your cousin made you that suit?
No. So my cousin Eric, who has been on our podcast, he has his store in the Sensplex in Ottawa. He has those wacky suits that you see all over the place. Don Cherry's worn them before. So I said, I'm going to the Queen's Plate. I need a suit. He said, I got one for you. So he sent it to me, got it to me, took it out of the box, threw it on, $139, boomsies.
Wow.
Dan is good looking.
So it was a
100%.
$139 suit?
Yeah.
Where was this from? Tip Top Tailors? International Clothiers?
This crazy suit company. They
Crazy Suit Company from Smith Falls, Ontario?
dollar bills, y'all. 100% polyester.
Oh, man.
But 200% awesome. That's what it says inside.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, so
it looked
to that.
great, but yeah, you must have been baking. How many containers of Gold Bond did you go through that day?
I used the spray and the powder.
Oh, God.
I was coated.
Oh, God.
So I didn't smell it all.
Horrible.
And my shirt, my dress shirt, was just sopping wet.
Oh, God. What a horrible experience. But the ladies all look beautiful. Natasha and Tessa, they were all there. They all go together and they put on their fascinators. Or fascinators.
Yeah, so we went there, and I went with Tessa and her family, Tessa Bonhomme, who we work with.
Yeah, I just mentioned her. I literally just said Natasha and Tessa.
Okay,
I
sorry,
said Natasha and Tessa, and then you said, yeah, we went with Tessa.
I was not paying attention for 2 seconds.
Jesus.
So we used my trifecta system, in which everyone throws in $10, and you all get 5 picks of 3. So it's like playing the lottery. You just do all different combos. We won twice, won like $2,200. So we paid for the entire day of gambling.
Straight to the rail.
No, straight to Sam Roberts. Sam Roberts performed outside.
Just outside the gate?
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him in? He's a busker now?
It was like a little beer area that they had cordoned off. So,
And
like they had him perform 3 hours after the race.
And how long did he perform?
About an hour, I guess.
So he played that Where Have All the Good People Gone 8 times?
Closed with that.
Okay.
He made us wait to the very end.
And what was the other one? The where he's in the rowboat. That was the first song he ever had. That
Brother Down?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Brother Down.
Everyone was into it.
I mean, you know what? Good for him, man. He's still kicking ass. At the, he probably hooked up with one of those ladies with the fascinators afterward.
Those hats look great. Natasha had one on.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier as well.
Okay, so
should we just stop and let you take a break?
No, I was finding this text from my my cousin Eric. So he mentioned before that he had put in a Mike Hoffman T-shirt order. It arrived the day he got traded.
Yes, that was very funny. And Carlson ones, too.
Guess what else arrived? John Tavares.
John Tavares Islanders?
Yeah.
Nice.
So he sent to me, JT signs with Toronto. The city's going nuts. That's another T-shirt ordered down the drain. He sent me a picture. He said, my T order is the kiss of death. He said, guess who's next? Forget Trade Center. Eric's T-shirt order.
Yeah.
Because he just ordered Craig Anderson shirts. So he's like, yeah.
No, he's gone.
Yeah.
And he's gone. I'm actually surprised he's not gone already. Someone should definitely scoop that guy up. All these teams desperate for tending. Who's desperate for goaltending right now? Oh, yes.
The New York Islanders.
So scoop them up, Lou. Yeah, that's what a day. What a fascinating day on Sunday, you know. I really believed, to be perfectly honest, as I pop my piece, that, I don't know, I guess I just thought Tavares just seemed like the kind of guy probably in the end would really strongly consider Toronto and then go back to New York. I just kind of thought that. I don't know why I thought that. Just seemed like a super loyal guy. Seemed like he liked it there. And I also thought that the addition of Barry Trotz and Lou Lamoriello, albeit kind of at the last minute, you know, would have made him think, all right, this team's finally going the right direction, so I'm going to stick around. But you know what? You saw the picture of him in his with his Toronto Maple Leafs bed sheets, with his Star Wars clock over the bed, and you realized, hey, man, finally the Leafs, they got one.
And the sales pitch, I know he doesn't have much of an ego, at least he doesn't appear to, but the sales pitch would have been to his ego saying, you do know you will be a god. You will, and if you bring a cup there, you are worried or not, you're concerned about your legacy and your how you're going to be seen as alongside the all-time greats. You bring a cup to Toronto, boom, solidified.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had to have mentioned his endorsement deals. Like, he's going to make another $10 million off of those.
He'll make a killing in Canada off of that. He just booked himself a trip to the Hall of Fame, because you play in Toronto and you're that player, you're going to the Hall of Fame. So forget cups. He's going to the Hall. Should we just induct him next year along with Marty Brodeur
and
Marty St. Louis and Gary? Oh, Gary, why? Why?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Why put him in now? He's going to get in. We all know that. No matter how much you hate him, you know he's going to get in. It's fine. Put him in there. Who cares? But why now? I just don't get it. I would love to have sat down. I guess John Davidson, a bunch of our TSN hockey guys were at the Hall of Fame dinner last week. And John Davidson, I guess, was at a table with a bunch of them telling stories, hanging out. Because he's, I believe, the head of the committee now, the selection committee. Could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, feel free to tweet me and correct me. But I think John Davidson is the president of the Columbus Blue Jackets, the head of the committee. I would love to ask him, why do you feel the need to induct Gary Bettman right now? Are you worried about his health? Like, are you worried like he's not going to be as good of a speaker in 5 years or something?
No, health doesn't matter, because Pat Quinn, they could have inducted him when his health was failing. They did not. They did it after he passed.
Yeah.
Which
never
never
it's
made
just
any
baffling
sense
to me that they did that. I just so the NHL.
So, getting back to the Trade Center, we were going to have one of our many hockey insiders on the podcast to talk about it, but the second that show ended, bye-bye.
I mean, literally, we should point out that James Duthie, our good friend, he's at Cabot Links right now already.
With Bob Weeks?
I have no idea who he's there with, but he's there. And he texted me just before the show and said, I will come on. I just finished my round. I'll come on. But he's probably 12 beers deep. We don't want to do that to him. But yeah, you're right. Like, we texted everybody we know, got a lot of silence, a lot of non-responses. Some responded. Dregs got back to me right away, said, got company coming in, I'm way behind, can't do it, and also I will be 12 beers deep.
Jeff O'Neill called me. He said, sorry, can't do it. Start a vacation. Yeah. Be having some cocktails. So
we're making all the insiders seem like alcoholics. It's not really true, but I mean, hey, they're off. I mean, they're done. July 1st. Once July 1st rolls around, free agent frenzy day, it's over.
Sent a direct message to Tyler Bozak. Nothing back.
That was kind of random.
Went through my trainer who knows John Tavares. I said, hey, tell Johnny 5 minutes on the podcast. We'll have a fun convo because he doesn't have to talk serious stuff. Just shoot the shit. He's like, okay, sent the message. That was 4 hours ago. So that didn't.
And then
that didn't work.
Because I am represented by CAA, I reached out to Pat Brisson, and he said, we'd be happy to do it. How about tomorrow? I said, that's not good.
Reached out to Mike Commodore, who broke the James Neal news on Twitter on
really
Sunday
cool.
night.
That was really cool that he did that. And I love now he's cried wolf a few too many times on other stuff, so nobody knows what to believe. I wish he'd just report the stuff he knows for sure. But then, so that's what I'd like to get him on here. Because around the trade deadline, Toolsie, he was sending out stuff, right, that was kind of crazy, but didn't come to fruition. And then other things did. And obviously this James Neal thing did with Calgary. I'd love to know, like, when you sent that other stuff out, did you have enough information that you thought that was genuinely going to happen, or were you just with us?
Yeah. Well,
Mike Commodore could be an insider.
He said, sorry, man, can't do it tonight. I have a family outing. That's what he wrote.
Wow. I'm sure he likes his family. Good people.
So reached out to Lindsay Hamilton. She was going to come in, but she's got a show to host.
Yeah, so what I was going to, I spent, right before he came in, I wrote down the lyrics to, well, can we play the song I was going to have her sing stuff? Because this one's great. Summer in Saskatoon, everybody's going to get a gringo. Everybody's getting drunk on Broadway. Everybody's gonna puke at Buds on Broadway. Is that Toontown?
Summer just starts at 8. There's always the tournament in September, right?
Everybody's going to the southern
There's a lot going on there.
Everybody's hanging out at the Midtown Plaza. There's about 40 jewelry stores. I was going to get her to sing that.
That was a lot happening.
I was going to get her to sing that. I wrote down the lyrics. She has, by all accounts, a spectacular singing voice.
Yep. Well, she belted out a little tune when we were shooting some Mission Impossible stuff.
When is that stuff coming out, by the way?
I don't know.
God, that's going to be great. We did some crazy stunts.
That's right. We had Tessa on. We had Hamilton on. We had Nabil on.
Natasha, Gino.
Dutchie.
Kara Wagland.
Wags.
It's weird for us because Wags is hosting her like 5 p.m. SportsCenter show. When we left for L.A., she was writing scripts for us. So I'm trying to think who's writing scripts for us now. Will be hosting in 5 years.
We never go in that newsroom, so we'll never know.
Yeah, and I don't want to go in there.
One more return to the John Tavares stuff.
Oh, yes.
How many people over the weekend did the old, you must know, where's he going, to you? At the Queen's Plate, literally 250 people.
Nobody comes up to me. They're all afraid of me. No, people just come up to me and say, hey, good to have you back. Or, hey, are you back?
Not the John Tavares question? Like, I was
never got
inundated, and I was just like.
Never got it once. Nobody cares downtown.
I got no clue.
They're
I said it's Long Island or Toronto.
It's pretty exciting for Toronto. I realize this, for the rest of the country, this is borderline excruciating.
Yeah.
Because not because the team's going to be good. I genuinely think that even non-Leaf fans really enjoy how this team plays. You can't not like the way the young guys play. It's awesome. But there's already enough Leaf coverage. We get it. We know. We're not dumb. We get it. And this is just going to make it worse.
And when these people asked me the question about John Tavares, the look in their eyes, if you've ever had a child ask you, are we getting a puppy? That sheer joy.
I hope my kid never asked me
that joy, that optimism, that's what these people looked at me like. They just wanted to hear me say yes.
I'll tell her all the dogs in the world are dead. Everyone.
Okay, so we have another song. I'm going to hand you this so you can watch the video while this is being played. Do you have the Vancouver song queued up?
This is exciting. This is good. If this is anything like the Summer in Saskatoon song, we're in for a real treat here.
Okay, so this song was sent to me by Kevin Cothra.
Summer in Saskatoon. Oh, why do that name sounds familiar? I think he's been a long time viewer and follower.
Okay, yeah. Here we go. Song all about Vancouver.
People from everywhere come to see you. They've heard of your beauty. They don't want to leave you again. Where else they'll find the air so sweet and the water so pure? Where else the mountain reaches the sea?
Driving a cab?
Okay, have we heard enough?
Is there another verse?
There is. How much longer?
Let's go one more.
There's another 2 minutes of this song.
They keep going back to the mountain. So it's a woman in like a fur coat, but she's not lip syncing. She's just sort of smiling. Or maybe I'm a little behind. I guess I'm a little behind on the video. So she's lip syncing. Okay, her voice isn't that bad, but my God.
This was the theme song for the 2010 Vancouver Olympics.
I wouldn't have minded that, actually.
So there's that. So thanks for sending that.
Thanks, Cothra. Holy man. Yeah, that woman, I'd love to interview her. Did she think that was going to be a big hit? She's sort of like, remember Luba?
Mm-hmm.
From the 80s, Luba?
Mm-hmm.
She was like the West Coast Luba, that woman who sang that song.
Speaking of singers, this is some earth-shattering news I'm about to drop upon you. We always play on our TV show the Friday Night Football Tonight.
Yes.
Women. The background vocalists.
Now that song, just the old Friday Night Football theme, it's not used anymore.
No.
But we use it because we have it. We think it's funny. And
so it was recorded like 25 years ago.
Wow. Time flies.
We jokingly said to producer Tim, find those singers. We want to have them on our show.
Yeah.
He did nothing about that.
Wow.
I took it upon myself, started sending out emails. And you know how good I am with emails.
Yeah. A lot of K's. Okay.
Finally found a music producer that produced the entire session, gave me the recording, the session musicians, all by name, the backup singers, the lead vocalists. So we have the names of the Friday Night Football singers. We are getting close.
So my suggestion when you told me this was that we do, TSN has an amazing feature department. They do TSN originals. And, they're 11 to 18-minute long features about the Icelandic football team, Ross Rebliati's attempt to become a weed mogul, et cetera, all really well produced. Why don't you produce and voice a feature about the ladies of Friday night, the women who recorded the Friday Night Football theme. People would want to know all about how that came together.
I love it.
It'd be like a behind the music? It'd be like that.
Then we can do the same with the Rec Laws and the Thursday Night Football theme song.
What nice people they are, the Rec Laws.
They
really
sang
cool.
"O Canada" at the Queen's Plate as well. If you haven't heard the Thursday Night Football theme song, it's a massive hit.
Oh, my stomach. Sorry about that.
What was that?
I was about to burp, and then I tried to stifle it.
Someone want out?
Yeah, something wants out. What I was going to say is, can I get back to hockey very briefly? Did you see Larry Brooksy of the New York Post, pretty well-connected hockey writer, what he reported today about Erik Karlsson?
I do not follow Larry Brooks. Please tell me.
So Larry said that teams that are seriously interested in Erik Karlsson and talking to the Sens have now been given permission by the Sens to talk to Karlsson about a contract extension.
Okay.
This is pretty massive news. I feel like we're getting to the finish line here with Karlsson in Ottawa, which is not great for people in Ottawa, but these are the facts we're dealing with. But what I was going to say is, according to Brooksy, as he's known, Karlsson wants the same deal that Drew Doughty just signed over the weekend with the LA Kings. And so Drew Doughty just signed an 8-year, $88 million deal with the Kings, $11 million a year. So he wants that deal, which makes sense, right? They're about the same play. I think that's perfect for both of them, personally. So here's my question for you. Why would Karlsson have an agent? Why wouldn't he just go to those teams and say, yeah, see Doughty's deal? I want that exact same deal. And I'll get a lawyer to make sure that everything's on the up and up. I'll pay a lawyer by the hour, for 2 days, 2 full days. I'll pay him, $30,000 or something. But rather than paying him 10% of the whole contract, which, by the way, is almost $10 million, I'll pay, a lawyer $30,000 for a couple of days' work. What do you think?
Here's the problem Karlsson might be running into, in my mind. He revealed too much about his injury and about the surgery and all that. And that's going to be in the back of every team's mind. So he might not get as much.
It's possible.
They might be saying, like, hey, you got a bum ankle.
It's true, but what kind of no trade does he have? Right? Like, does he have to waive a no trade to be dealt? Or could he just wait till next year and sign on July 1st, which he could do, right?
He will not play for the Sens this year. No chance.
I'm just saying he doesn't have to. If he's getting lowballed, he could be like, all right, fine, I'll just play here. I'll be incredible. I am curious to see how he looks this year, because you're right about the ankle. That was too much TMI. He came back too fast, too much information. Told us that his ankle is now a robot ankle.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind a defenseman with a robot ankle.
Yeah, indestructible.
I think that might be a good thing. But I don't know. That's just me.
Got something in my tooth.
Okay. Well, the podcast has come to a screeching halt.
Sorry, I had a little is it called teriyaki experience?
Tooth Center. Yeah, over at Scarborough Town?
Yeah. No, at the over by the Mr. Sub.
Oh, what is that mall called? We have a mini mall across from us.
Mallland.
Across from Bell Media Studios North. That was the joke I told at the town hall last week. I said, welcome to Bell Media Studios North, or as we who work here call it, the building across from Mr. Sub on McCowan.
There's a Bible shop over there?
Yes. It's called Faith. It's like a chain, right?
Here's the thing about that store. We went away
Oh, by golly, Jesus.
It opened before we left for L.A. It's still open.
Still there, man. People have faith.
But a Curves Fitness shut down.
Yeah.
Curves couldn't cut it.
You know who I saw walking on Ossington as I was driving up here, Toolsie? Saw a couple of Mormon dudes on their mission, going door to door, spreading the word of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I wondered, and why could I spot them? Well, you can just spot Mormon men, when they're on the mission, because they all wear the same thing. It's the white shirt, black tie, and then they have the name tag, right? So, but I'm like, when the Mormons decided to go with the name tag and that's it, what was the logic there? They wanted to all look the same, or they wanted people to know they were coming? It's like It's like Tim Hortons or FedEx or.
Well, you don't
They're
want
like, we got to have a uniform.
Yeah, you don't want a guy in like flip flops and a tank top going to the doors.
Every day I got a couple of guys like that coming to my door asking for money. I live in a bad neighborhood. Flip-flop guys.
I love when someone comes to the door and they show you the ID that you're like, okay, you just made this yourself. And what's it proving? That your name is on something that's laminated.
So I said this to you last week. Last week, a couple of guys came to my door at 6:30 p.m. I get downtown, I get a lot of guys come to the door asking for charity stuff. And they're like, we're a registered charity. Right away, they're like, we're a registered charity. I'm like, great. I'm like, why are you here at 6:30? Seems like, I don't mean to be too old-fashioned.
No, I think you're good till 7.
So, but what I'm saying is, shouldn't you go after 7? Shouldn't you go before? Like between 6 and 7, isn't that the universal meal time for families?
Nah, mine's 5:30.
Okay, 5:30. So say 5 and 7. Like, why are you there between 5? Why are you interrupting someone's meal?
I say no.
Blew my mind. I was just like, you know what, fellas, come later. And they're like, should we come back? I'm like, actually, no.
I say no knocky after 7 p.m. No.
But what? But you want people to interrupt your meal?
No one comes to my door, so it doesn't matter to me.
No, that's true. You're out in the sticks.
Yeah, no one makes their way out there.
Hey, is the liquor store still open?
Good question. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while.
Well, you haven't gone to check it out?
No, I'll go check that out tomorrow. But it's gone soon. Very soon. Oh, we did come up with something in our group at the Queen's Plate.
Who's in this group?
Bunch of people from Oakville. One of the guys' names was Dan.
Ron McLean?
We got into chatting, and I told him how my neighbor across the street was named Dan. My neighbor 3 doors down's name's Dan. I have a buddy named Dan. This guy's name's Dan.
This has been Dan talk.
So we decided we are going to have a Dan Fest.
That could
in
be
Orono.
That could be your music festival.
And
only artists named Dan.
Dan had a nap during the race, an hour-long nap. Okay. So he wants a nap zone at Dan Fest.
Actually, all music festivals should have a nap zone. And it would be like a daycare where it's just mats on the ground under a tent.
Yeah.
Maybe an air-conditioned tent.
And then we just need to book Steely Dan to play.
There's only one guy left from that band, so you just call one guy. And you get him. Dan Manigan? He's around? Oh, Dan Bejar, the guy who's in Destroyer. Bands that.
Who's Dan Fogarty? Dan
Fogelberg? Yeah, Fogelberg, right?
Dan Fogelberg? I don't know.
Well, it's John Fogarty.
John.
And Dan Fogelberg. Yeah, but we could get Fogelberg.
Dan Hill?
How about, can we look up artists, musicians named Dan?
So we decided all Dans get in for free, all women get in for free, but non-Dans, $50.
Holy man, that seems like a lot.
Not too much?
Daniel Craig? Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, we need Dan Aykroyd there.
Dan Marino.
That'd be great if we just parade out all these Dans.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's retired from acting, so we can get him. Dan Tana?
Daniel Tosh. He would be good. He could perform.
Yeah.
Dan Rather.
Yes.
Thunder Dan Marley. Oh, our buddy, Daniel Alfredson. He could show up.
Hey, I'm Alfie. Okay. What else are you going to do? Nothing. Okay.
Do we have any other Dans working? Oh, Daniel Craig, James Bond.
He might be a tough get.
How about...
Doesn't seem to be a very jolly gentleman.
I'm trying to think. Maybe I like Thunder Dan Marley. Oh, Dan Quayle, the 44th VP of the United States.
Any bands?
How about Dan Savage? He's an American sex columnist.
My summers are like...
Yeah, you're locked in every weekend.
I already missed the Phantom. The Phantom was only in town for like 2 weeks.
You were jonesing.
There's Potted Potter, so it's all the Harry Potter books in 90 minutes. They sum it up. It's a comedy. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I would actually go see that.
At the CAA Theater? Where the hell's that?
Like the Automotive Association?
Yes.
Really?
Someone did send me a funny tweet because John Lou was hanging outside the CAA offices. Someone sent me a tweet. He's like, why is he hanging out at the Canadian Automobile Association office?
John Lou, he's a funny guy. Well, this has been a dynamite podcast. Maybe one of our best.
Yeah, so if you have any suggestions for DanFest, please send them to us on social media.
Any more suggestions, certainly for bands. We would appreciate that.
Yes, and other things you'd like to see at DanFest aside from the nap zone.
All right. Christoph, thank you. Thanks to Coors Light for sponsoring the Jay and Dan podcast. We're going to continue to bring it to
Coors Light, they kept us alive at the Queen's Plate.
How many did you crush? 5?
They were
6,
very difficult to get.
7.
I probably had 4.
He drinks at lunchtime.
A buddy of mine was telling me today, before I let you go, that at Osheaga, which is a huge music festival near Montreal or in Montreal, that people walk around with just trays of beers in the crowd.
Why?
To sell, so you don't have to go through a line.
Oh, I thought they you buy a tray of beer and you're sitting in the hot sun.
No, like they go like it's like as if they're at a Leaf game or something, and they just buy beer from the guy walking around. That's so much better. You don't have to get in a line.
On these really hot days, those King cans or the tall boys, too big. You got to go to the little boys.
Why?
Because the tall ones, you got a shotgun in order to have cold beer the whole way.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I never really thought about it. I still drink the tall boys. 'Cause I like to consume a lot more alcohol if I can.
Yeah, people were coming back with draft beer that wasn't Coors Light, and they were sitting in the hot sun. We're like, that looks horrible. They're like, this beer is boiling.
Yeah, I can't do draft beer anymore. It's over for me. I'm only doing cans and bottles
of Coors Light.
Of Rocky Mountain Cold. Silver Bullets.
It's brewed cold.
Filtered cold. And packaged cold.
Guess what? It's cold.
Guess what, everybody? You'll touch it and freeze your fingertips. Hypothermia. You'll get frostbite all over your lips, but it'll go down nice down your throat. Coors Light. It's cold as
That's a good slogan. You're welcome, Coors Light.
I got to say, Coors Light will probably be pretty happy that we came up with that. All right. Well, listen, thanks for listening, and talk to you